Greetings. This is Arvette McLean of Speak, the Universe Listens.
Out there what it is that I want.
We cherish that. We love that particular piece of it because
Teach people like, hey, it's okay, change.
New ways to view age-old challenges. Change your thoughts, change your life. Step into the bigness of you.
How you think you are. 27 days to radically shift your thinking and upgrade your life. More wealth, health, love, and joy.
Your course is the first course that I don't mind repeating again and again and again.
Click on the link for the special offer or visit the website at www.arvettemclean.com. Greetings and welcome to today's episode of Speak the Universe Listens. Today's topic is finding joy after loss. And I have Stephen joining me today to discuss this important topic. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. So
Awesome.
I'm going to have to say that I have no real experience in this area of I've lost people in my life who I was close to, but I have never lost anyone that I was really, really, really close to. And so I know that there are different degrees of I guess grief that goes along with losing loved ones, and then trying to find your way to the other side where you feel like not only that you just survived it, but you can actually find joy on the other side of it.
Right. I think we're so often in society we see death as this just it's very like it's the end of the world. People mourn so much, and the sadness surrounded by it. But if we really take a look at it a little deeper, in life, life revolves around death. When you think about it, if when you lose somebody, instead of you, we all mourn. That's normal for us to mourn. But just having a better understanding of it's a celebration. It's a celebration of life. Um, Even though that loved one of yours may not physically be here, that does not mean that they're still not here. And I think that some of the time we forget that, because we're visual creatures. If we don't see it, then it's not there. Then it's gone. And then we don't think about it. But when it's there, we think about it. We know that it's there. So I think it's a conscious thing. So when it comes to losing a loved one, I myself, I lost my brother, um, and so now I'm the only child. And so when I go back and I think about that time in my life, I was really I was sad. I had so many mixed emotions. I was sad. I grieved for a while, and I gave myself about a year, and then after a year, when I really started to work on myself spiritually, and I was taught a lot of new things as far as spirituality is concerned. I got a better understanding of life, and I got a better understanding of coping with uh, losing somebody. And so what I gained from it is all of us are a big ball of energy. And since all of us are since we are this big ball of energy, even when our physical is not here anymore, the energy that that loved one of yours had um, is still around. I can say, when my even though my brother is not here anymore, it's times as to where, man, it's just a thought pops into my head, and I actually think about him, or it may be a situation that I'm in, that I'm dealing with right at that moment, and I think about him, and it's like that energy. You feel that energy of like, wow, he would have been laughing about this, or X, Y, Z. So I think that we really need to. When you're losing a loved one, take the time out to think about it as it's not so much of a sadness that we should have. I think that it should be more of a celebration of life. Nothing to really look at as it's the end of the world. But again, everybody deals with it totally different, and everybody sees it, you know, in their own way. But I think that we should look at it not in a sadness, but more of joy. Can you get
I heard somebody say, we sitting around missing them, but they not missing us.
Exactly.
And the reason why they're not missing us is because, as you say, we're all energy, and energy cannot be created or destroyed. So when we die, we're not gone. We're still here, and so that energy is still here. That person that you know is your loved one is still here, watching you every day.
Right.
This
Every
person is in a totally different state of mind. So it's like everything's good and everything's beautiful. Like the personality was left here. Not the personality, but I would say like all of the struggle, the part of us that is not congruent or aligned with our higher self is kind of left behind, and we just become that higher thing. And so we're in this vibration of this high vibration, but we're still here. Well, I'm saying we, but I'm not dead. But our loved one is still here, just in a higher vibration, a higher frequency. So we can't see them if we're not in that same frequency. So we can't hear them, we can't commune with them if we're not in that same frequency. And so oftentimes when we lose someone, we're feeling sad. Like our vibrational frequency is very low. And so we can't commune with them. We can't talk to them. We can't feel them. And so it's only in those moments when we allow our energy to be high enough that we can actually find them and hear them. And so, basically we want to, I guess, transition as quickly as possible from the place of sadness, because of course, you're gonna miss them. You're
of
gonna
course.
miss them that you know as them, the physical part of them. You're gonna miss all of that. Um,
Right.
but if you're open to it, you're able to experience them in a whole different way and experience all the best of them as often and as frequently as you so desire, because they're still interested, very interested in you and what you're doing every day. So they're not missing you because they're right there with you.
Exactly. They're not going anywhere. Their energy is still here. Exactly. The energy is still here. So, like I said before, anybody that's going through it, I think that if they can have a open mind to that aspect of what you were just saying, if they can have an open mind to it, I think it will really um, ease the pain that somebody may feel, and they can transform that feeling, because we talked about that before, feelings are visitors. And so they can transform that feeling of hurt, of pain, into something as to where it's more of a feeling of joy, not just, joy of, for that person being in a place of high, of higher energy, high vibration. So for the most part, I don't look at it as something that's sad. I look at it as a moment of joy. This loved one of mine is in a place much better than where I am. Much better than where I am. So I don't really look at death as such a sad thing. It's more of a celebration. And I think that we all, if we look at it like that, I think that it'll really lighten the load of the sadness that we so much carry with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, I think it all boils down to how do we think about things. And like I say, I have not lost anybody close, 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 close. I can't speak from personal experience. I can only speak from the observation that I have of other people that goes through it, and as well as, studying like how does this whole thing work. Um, but I think that at any point, if we allow ourselves to look, so basically we're looking for them where they are not, like we're looking for them
Right.
around us, and so we can't
Right.
we can't see them there. But I think just in life, in real, in physical form, if you think about anybody, you can have immediate access to them. And I think it's the same way with our lost loved ones. If I think about them, it's like they will tune in. It's like they're automatically there. And so they're there listening and hearing. And, if you want to talk to them, they can hear you. But you can't hear them if you're in a space of sadness, because they're not in that space. And then also, like, if you are looking for them, like when like you can tune into a person's personality. And so when you're tuning in, if I'm tuning into Steven, for example, then
Right.
I'm thinking about all the characteristics that I know as Steven. And so then I'll get that impression of Steven. However, when a person dies, a lot of who you knew them as is changed, because they're not carrying around that human part of struggle and hardship and not understanding how I'm going to make this work. Like all that's gone, because they already know. Now they know how all this stuff works together. And so if you're tuning into that part of them, you may
Right.
not be able to feel them. But if you tune into all the best parts of them that you can remember, everything about them that's good, tune into that and allow yourself to, I guess, be quiet and to feel the joy of the times that y'all have shared together. Then that's what allows you to tap into that person. And I've never actively tried to tap into someone before, as far as a loved one, but I know occasionally I can feel when my father is around. So I'm wondering, can you ever feel? I know you say sometimes you get a feeling like this is something your brother would love or something like that. But do you feel like he's there with you?
Oh yeah, yeah, all the time. Him, even my grandma. She passed years ago. But now that I have a better understanding of losing somebody, I know how to uh, tune in and know when this individual is here or their energy is around me, because I have a better understanding of it. So anytime, it's just like when we sit back and uh, we think of somebody, right? And when we think of somebody, after a while, it could be something that happens that the person just may call you out of the blue, and you can just be like, you know what, I was just literally thinking of it. You ever had that moment? And that's
Oh, yeah.
exactly how it
Yes.
is. That's exactly how it is. We're sitting back, and when you're thinking about somebody, 9 times out of 10, they're either thinking about you, or it's something, they're either close by. So it's the same with your loved ones, the people that you lost. It's the same aspect. When you're thinking about them, they're around you somewhere, somehow. You just don't know where. Because like you said before, we haven't reached that level of vibration as to where they are. You know, but if we did, then we will experience what they're experiencing. And I think that we don't really have a understanding. Even myself, I don't have too much understanding as far as how they may feel. I mean, because I'm not dead. But with that being said, though, I can only imagine being a person of that, just being that high vibrational person, right? And not in my physical form, but just in my spiritual form. Um, how that would feel, what I would experience. I think would be quite awesome. But if I could take that now and apply it to while I'm here physically, man, it would be awesome. It would be awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a good exercise to do, really, is to
Yeah,
think
I think.
about you as your higher self. How would you be?
Hmm.
What
I
would you
think. I think. I'm sorry. I think that if we were to live our life now while we're physically here, just like every day is going to be our last day physically. I think that we will actually be, everybody would be living the way that they want to live. Everybody would be doing the things that they desire to do. You know, um, Everybody would be on a higher vibration, on a higher level, as far as their vibration and their energy is concerned. But if we were to carry that energy on a regular basis, like, hey, death is going to come to everybody at one point, but not looking at it as where it's something that's what's the word that I would like to use? It's not bad. It's nothing bad. It's just another stage um, in our life that we have to go through, and it probably be awesome. It's probably be awesome.
Yeah, I think a lot of getting to the other side of the grief happens beforehand. So, like now, right now, today, before anyone has died, if you can actually start processing it, not like, like, oh, what if this person died? Like, not
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
morbid
exactly.
way, but to start in your own brain, like thinking about, like, or making decisions about what does death mean? Why
Right,
did we come here in the first place? Asking your higher self that. Why are we here? Why did we come? What were we to accomplish? And so when we die, if your belief is that you dying because you have now accomplished what you came to accomplish, like Stephen said earlier, that's a reason to celebrate. Like, you did it. And now it's time for the next next stage of your life to do whatever is next for you or whatever. But I think if we in advance decide that death is just a part of life, and that they're not leaving us, they're not really lost, they're still here, and that if
right,
we can tune into that we can be even more present with them on a day-to-day basis than we ever have before. Because I mean, my sister-in-law, she always talks about how her mom is like always present now that her mom has transitioned. So
oh, really?
yeah, it's like, mom, can you give me a little break here? But which I think is so interesting. Like I said, I do feel it not a lot. It used to be a lot more than I feel it now, but I used to always feel my dad when he was present. And how do I know it was him? I don't know. I can't, I don't know how I know, but I could all it was like I would just get this feeling like he's standing right there. I'm like, hey,
Right, 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 right.
what you doing? What you want? um
Why are you bothering me right
I didn't see it like a bothering, but it would be like
now?
unexpected, and then all of a sudden he's present, and so I would think that he was like coming to give me a message or something. But if he was giving me a message, it's not like I don't know, I couldn't hear it. But I could feel his presence. I feel him when he comes around.
Awesome. That's the same. Like I said, even with mine, I feel his presence, grandma. And so, like I said, anytime I feel it, it's like okay. I'm not nervous or nothing like that, but it's just like okay. What are you here to tell me? You got something that you want to say. So, yeah, if we can sit back and just um, get a better understanding of of a loss and what we're talking about today. If everybody was to have that thought as to celebrating life instead of just mourning and sadness about it, then that can help us better cope with dealing with losing somebody that we love. Just knowing in our mind already that they're not gone, that they're still here. Physically, they may not be here, but they're still here.
Yeah, yeah. It's like one of I guess death is like one of the hardest thing, and it's weird that it's so hard for us because, like you say, it's really a part of life, but it just seems like it's so final, and like you never see that person again, and or whatever. Like
Mhm.
it can be hard, and sometimes I would imagine you don't even want to feel better. You know what I'm saying? Like that person's gone, you don't want to feel joy again,
Yeah,
but at the same time that that person would want you to feel joy, and so to honor that person, you know find ways to feel what they would want you to feel. That they would want nothing but the best for you, so try to find ways to make it so.
right. I totally agree with you. Totally agree. But I think also too as well, if we were to just sit back and just really live our lives as to where we understand that even while we are alive, we still deal with death. You know, um, we sit back and there's certain areas of our life as to where things have to end. But that doesn't mean that even though that it ends, that it's the end, like it's with that, like we're going anywhere. It's just that certain chapter of our life has to come to an end in order for us to blossom. So even with death, it's a chapter in our life that everybody goes through. And like I said, it's nothing bad. It's something that I think that we all should just really embrace. Um, and everybody has their own feelings on it. They really do. Everybody has their own feelings on it. And I can understand. I totally get it. There's nothing as to where you can just sit back and be like, I'm happy that my best friend I lost my best friend. Of course. No, I'm not saying that at all. But when you have a better understanding of what it is that me and you are talking about, I think people can be able to really cope 10 times better, instead of being so sad. It'd be just more of joy, celebration. You have more happiness. Understand this person is experiencing something else now. So
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if it's ever a perfect way to deal with the subject of death, because that is one of the hardest things that uh, as humans that we have to deal with that's present in our life. And I think I shared this story before, but I remember when my mom's best friend died, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna make a long story short. But anyway,
Right.
we sat in the hospital for her final hours, and when I went out to move my car to like pump, put tokens in my car or whatever, when I came back, she had died. And so shortly thereafter, my mom was like, "Okay, you ready?" And I'm just like, "Huh?" Like, no, I can't, I can't leave her. Like, I can't leave her in the hospital like this. And my mom was like, "No, that's not her. She's already gone. That's just her body or whatever. She's gone."
Right.
And so it was kind of like that realization was like, "Oh, okay." And that's what allowed me to leave the hospital. And then I guess from that point, just watching how my mom processed this whole thing, and how she made it through to the other side. It was just like a learning experience about death, and she handled it differently from what I've known people to handle it. And so I
Right.
was like, I want to be able to handle it in that way. And in order to do that, you totally had to have a different way of thinking about what death means.
Yeah, you really do. You really do.
Yeah. All right, Stephen. Well, thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in with us today. And hopefully, again, if you can make some decisions in advance about how you think of death, hopefully that will help you to cope with it when it shows up in your life. Um, Hopefully to help all of us cope with it when it shows up in our lives. And look forward to chatting with you again soon next week. And in the meantime, check out my website at arvettemclean.com. And Stephen, do you have a website as well?
I do. I do. I have a website. My website right now is currently it's Words of Wisdom. It's on Facebook. So please go check me out. But I also have a website. It's wordsofwisdom.com. So it's coming soon. It's in the works. So I will tell you all. Look forward to that. Should be here by next week. So come check me out.
All right. All right, guys. Until next time, this is Arvet and Stephen. Bye.